Ahora sí van a comprar pan. Hola, it's me, Gigi Fuego, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Behind the Heat, where we talk about the creation of the looks from RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18, and I take you behind the scenes of the creation process. Even though you didn't get to see the looks on the main stage, that process no one can take away from us because we've made some magic and it's time to share it with the world. This week's category was Shake, Shake, Shake. And this is a very moving episode as well, because that dress means everything to me. It's about culture, it's about family, and I'm so grateful that you're here on this journey with me, even after the show. Thank you for subscribing and liking and commenting below. I read it all. It's a conversation. I'm happy you're here. So, let's get right to it. It's Behind the Heat. Let's go. Now, I don't know exactly what came first, the design of the dress or the category, because some other looks I had already started designing before we got the list with the runway categories. Like, for example, the satin matador look from last week. That look I had already designed before we got the category of Not Today Satin. Because when I first got the call to be on the show, the first call, not the official final call, I knew runways were going to be very important to me, and I knew that I was going to have this opportunity to be on the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race, and what do I want to say with the fashion? What stories do I want to tell? What do I care about? What fashion references? All of that stuff I collected before I got the categories. And bringing Mexican hand beading and artistry to the main stage was very, very important to me from the jump. Now, this dress might look like it's, $1 billion because of the craftsmanship and the beading and all of that stuff. But the reality is, the base of this dress was the dress that my mother wore to my brother's wedding. It is a very beautiful dress that looks very like a Mexican embroidery. It is not Mexican, but it was an opportunity to take a garment that was a beautiful base and then add to it and have it kind of transform into something that I could not have achieved if I had done it from scratch. But my first inspiration when I heard movement and shaking was all about these Mexican, artists, guys. They go up a pole and they strap themselves to ropes, and then they go around the pole, and then they let themselves go, and then they fly. They're called the Voladores de Papantla. And when I thought of shake, shake, shake and movement, I was like, I wanna bring that to the main stage. And also, there's this other tradition called the matachines, and they are this processional, kind of religious, and they wear these tassels and everything that moves with them, and they make noise. On the Dia de la Virgen de Guadalupe, which is the Day of the Virgin of Guadalupe, we would have them all around the city, and my grandmother's name was Guadalupe, and so on her birthday, we used to have matachines at the house. And so this look combined the wedding dress my mother gave me with the idea of the matachines of the Virgen de Guadalupe and hand artistry of made in Mexico crafts. Oh, I think I should address one thing that I've been kind of struggling with. On the show, on the first episode, when I'm introducing myself, that I'm Gigi Fuego, but I'm not a cha-cha-cha Latina. And it's been very misinterpreted.
I am originally from Monterrey, Mexico. I am a Latina, but I'm not like a cha-cha-cha, give you the...
Your name's just Gigi Fuego. I mean...
okay, I know.
The idea here, and listen to me now, people, is that I am not here to be your stereotype of what a Latin person is, especially in entertainment. I know who I am. I'm a Mexican person. I grew up there my whole life. Everyone in Latin America knows that we can be everything and we can be anything. And the idea of the expectation set by media of Latin people, I was there to break it, to kind of make it bigger, that Latinidad looks like everything. And instead, it looked like, by me saying that I was rejecting my Mexicanness and my Latinaness and how much I love my culture and my people and my heritage. And that is just not the case. I see all these stupid comments being like, well, didn't you say you were not a cha-cha Latina? Diva, get out of here with that. That is not what I meant. I had this in my bag. It was not seen on the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race, but I'm still so proud of the work that went into it. And so let's get back to that. So once I had the dress, and then I started sketching out like what could it be, how could it shake, all this stuff. The first sketch was this. The idea was that the skirt was gonna come up, kind of like a farthingale, very like, I don't know, Elizabethan, wide hips. Also kind of like Schiaparelli, you know, that collection. And then I was gonna cut the skirt in strips so that you could have some lightness, and then beads in a big hat, a curtain coming down, then connecting to the skirt, so that when I walked around, it would just shake. Eventually we realized we needed some editorial hair. We didn't need a big hat. It was just going to be too much on too much, and let the skirt be the star. And so that's where I commissioned Amy Farid, who is a hairdresser, hairstylist, wigologist to the stars. She also is of Native American heritage. And we had so many conversations, because she helped me create the wigs for the whole package, about how hair can be like cultural. Braids are very important, and they are also important in Black culture and also important in Native American culture. And oh my God, the wig. It's all wired. Oh, I actually shouldn't have grabbed it. Not only did we talk about the braiding work, but also the color of the hair, because I didn't want it to be like, oh, this is a Mexican look, let me wear like brunette or brown hair or like black hair. Like, it is still okay to be me and touch on the things in my culture that I love, that feel special and that I feel connected to, without it feeling like appropriation. And I'm so grateful that I worked with Amy and she eased my fears, and then ended up creating a fabulous editorial wig. So, Amy Farid for hair, I love you. Hey neighbor. But then it was time to create the beadwork, and I could have just gotten a curtain of beads, like from a door from Amazon. But baby, that is not what we're doing here at the Di Fuego Incorporated Headquarters LLC.com. I wanted to make sure that the beadwork was from Mexico. And this is when it just seems like the world does sometimes work in my favor. Not that often, but sometimes. And I had seen a runway look from Couture in France, Kevin Germanier, I think I'm saying it right. And his whole collection that year had a lot of beading work and like big plastic things that kind of inspired my boa for my entrance look. And cut 2 months and months later, I'm hosting a Valentine's Day party in New York City. Shout out to Luis Fernando, with Jewel Sparkles and Mirage and Electra Vandergeld from Drag Race Mexico. And she was wearing that dress. And I had to convince her to tell me how she had it. And she revealed to me that that dress was actually made by a designer in Oaxaca, Mexico, named Kevin Pascual. Gracias, hermana Electra, por el contacto. And this is one of the other very emotional moments, because in speaking to him from Oaxaca, Mexico, with the opportunity to create something for the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race, it really, I mean, we both were crying on the phone. I have the conversation recorded and somehow the sound didn't record. Boo. But just the idea that we were going to make it on Drag Race, the idea that Mexican hands, Mexican artistry, history, all of this stuff was going to make it on the main stage was so important to us. And it didn't. But still we made it. Like, still the look exists, so the history is going to be told. And in moments like these, I'm happy that I have this channel so that I can tell you all this. Because I would have said this on the show. Then the problem was, Kevin's going to make the beads and the bead curtains in Mexico, in Oaxaca. My sister and my friend Morgan were going to be remixing my mother's dress from my brother's wedding here in New York. And how was it all going to come together? Because everything is very specific. So the amount of math that went into the lengths, the widths, and the dress is full of stripes. And so every stripe had to be measured so that the beads go in front of it in a very measured way. It just was crazy. And every row of beads that he made had the same pattern. And for some, the pattern ended here, and then the rest to here, and then the rest to here. Every strip had the same pattern, but the strips were all different lengths, and then they each were similar widths because the dress had similar widths, but it wasn't just a cone, it actually had open. And then, how does all of this beading get to New York? And so, Kevin shipped, thank you DHL, 30 pounds of beading to New York City. De Mexico al mundo, Kevin Martinez on Drag Race. Oh, this is so sweet. Oh my God. We got it maybe like 3 days before I had to go to the show. And then figuring out how to attach it all to the dress. And then the skirt was so heavy, I can't. So I'm gonna show you a little bit about how that all went down. Here we are. This is an update from the battlefield. And I mean battlefield. Of Fuego Creations. My mom is in town. These videos will be seen later. Pero we're going to Drag Race, Mami. ¿Qué te parece?
We are so excited. Muy emocionados, incrédulos.
Pero
It's happening.
tenemos que trabajar mucho.
Sí.
Y no pelearnos tanto.
Pues no me peleo.
No, tú no. Tu vestido. ¿Les quieres decir algo a tus fans de tu vestido? My mother graciously let me have this dress that is hers that she wore to my brother's wedding.
Without this.
I know, sí, bueno, obviously she didn't wear with this.
I love it. It's gonna look gorgeous.
I'm wearing my mother with me on the runway on television. Padre y Hijo Santo. Dale la bendición.
Amen.
Amen. Y si me eliminan ese vestido, it's on God. That's on God.
Nah.
Goodbye for now. 28 days to go.
28 days. Sagrado Corazón.
De Jesús. 3 days to go. Right now I'm working on the structure that goes underneath the shake, shake, shake dress. It's so heavy. Obviously we knew it was going to be very heavy. Needed to make the structure of the dress so strong so that the beads can fall correctly. Tried all these different techniques. So today the technique we're gonna try to figure out is pool noodle. So I'm making a kind of bustle, kind of farthingale situation. I'm not gonna know if it works or doesn't work until it's done. So I'm just pushing through and gonna make it and we'll see what happens. So wish me luck. And off we go. Now, after the depression left my body from not being able to share this artistry with the world via the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race, and I don't know if I'm fully over it, but then, like all of my looks, it was how do I end up creating content and sharing the looks? If they didn't get the main stage, what is their stage? And this look felt like it had to be done in Mexico. And thankfully, my cousin Juan Pablo was getting married in Puebla, Mexico on the weekend of Day of the Dead. If I wasn't gonna go shoot it in Oaxaca, then it was perfect because I could shoot it in another beautiful, historic Mexican place full of color and light. And so, who was gonna take the photos? I don't know anyone in Puebla, Mexico. And then, baby, the brilliance of whoever had this idea was on me. I contacted the wedding photographer, and the wedding photographer was so invested. Turns out she was doing editorial photography before doing wedding photography, and turns out she's a member of the LGBTQIA+ community. So it was just a match made in heaven. And so we went to the market of Cholula, Mexico on the weekend of Day of the Dead, actually on Halloween Day, and had the best day. I can't tell you how emotional it was because I was afraid. Would people be okay with having a drag queen walking around their spaces? And every single person that we came in contact with embraced me so lovingly. It was just the most beautiful day. And thankfully I had my mom there and James, my boyfriend, there to experience it and to help because it was a lot. So let's go to Puebla, people. And I'll see you there. When I had the seamstresses here the day before I left for Drag Race and they were finishing this, they didn't finish the final row. As you can see, it's still just safety pinned. I have to do that right now. I had to bring my sewing machine to the floor. There was like an extra piece of thing that wasn't hemmed. It just never ends. Well, of course the needle broke. I asked myself, why didn't I check this garment till the day before? And I also asked myself, did I just think I could just finish all these details on the day of the runway when I was on set? Or like, did I really thought I could, Couture, darling, couture. Okay, we're done, let's go. You know what I forgot? My earrings.
Hey, ando con lo mío, traemos el calor a los que andan con frío. Hey, estamos bendecidos, yo ando bien fresh, no pueden conmigo like hey.
¿Qué tal?
El dedo no se acaba.
caer, mamá.
Tú dime si me voy a caer.
Shake, shake, shake.
Muévelo, 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 muévelo. Muévelo, 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 muévelo.
Gracias. Bonito dia. Welcome to my shop. We're selling flowers, we're selling grandmas, we're selling ceramics.
Muévelo, 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 muévelo.
Now, one thing that's really special about this all is that in creating all these looks, I set up a giant board of inspiration here in my studio. Sketches from like high school, sketches from college, because I was like in costume design and all stuff, in addition to fashion and history. This is from 2011 that I made, 2011. And the way that this looks like the dress that I ended up making just reminds me about how like personal like fashion and clothing creation is for me. It's always been inside of me, and it is kind of cosmic to be like, this thing that I ended up making is a thing that I've had in my spirit for so many years. And I'm just so fortunate, no matter what happened on the show, that I'm able to share what I love with you. So thank you for joining this journey, and subscribe and like and do all that stuff so that I can keep doing it. So thank you all, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios. We just wrapped in the market in San Pedro Cholula. I wanted to just commemorate this moment and thank all the people at the market who were so sweet. We brought cash to give people at the different places that we were gonna be like, oh, can we please take photos here? And no one would take the money. They all wanted to like give me things. Like, here, have some fruit, here, have some candy. My mom was saying it's like, we have un nudo en la garganta. Also, people allowed me to enter
the dressing room,
someone's home that had like a toilet and just like an old shop that was empty. It just felt very warm and very beautiful, and I think it has to do with the beauty of the Mexican people.